Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast with your two hosts, Suhey Sotomayor
and seven-time author E.L. Discipline. This is the Discipline Therapy Podcast, completely sucker-free and commercial-free. Plenty of liberty. It's that good weed, yes indeed. God and the ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So relax. It's laid back. Go grab your wine or whatever you have to do, and make sure the kids are in bed. This is that soul food talk. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light it up, inhale life, exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're here.
So, Episode 5, Goodgirls, Badboys. Mr. Discipline, are you a bad boy?
I love this episode.
Topic? You like this topic?
I like this topic.
Why is that?
I'm kind of like that oxymoron that women has put me in a stigma of walking oxymoron, like bad boy, good man. And I
So wait. What makes you a bad boy?
Or
what used to make you a bad boy? Unless you're still a bad boy.
What women, or what even other men see and they say, "Oh, that's a bad boy," or a woman says, "Oh, that's a bad boy," based off the exterior. Like I have that bad boy exterior.
So you have that look to you. Is what you're saying.
The look, the tattoos, the behavior. You know what I mean? The assertiveness.
The take no shit type of thing.
Yeah, and I think what's being like the bad boy is being interchanged with society as something negative.
Well, because most of the time bad boys get their name because they're bad. They cheat, they fight. That's a bad boy.
No, it's not a bad boy.
So wait,
in my opinion.
In your opinion, because you have been labeled bad boy, do bad boys go for good girls? Or do they like bad girls too?
I think they like bad girls too, but I think bad boys love good girls more than bad girls because it's that balance.
Like a yin and yang.
Yeah, inequality beats equality. So I think that's why good girls like bad boys. The inequality beats equality. But the bad boys, it's like if they get with a good girl, it balances them.
Oh, I could see that. I could totally see that. Now, why is it, do you think, that good girls don't like, the good guys?
Well, okay, so this goes back to ancestry. And this is like science and biology. Women are subconsciously designed to be attracted to stronger genes. So everything part of the bad boy, it triggers arousal in the female psyche. So subconsciously, she believes that bad boys exude strong genes. So naturally, even sometimes beyond her control, beyond her consciousness, she's going to gravitate towards that. Whereas the nice guy is more of a beta male.
I gotta say,
we could differentiate. We could say bad boys are alpha males, nice guys are beta males, and for women, they look at nice guys as these guys are exuding weak genes.
So a nice guy to you, though, what is that? Like the guy who is always there for the girl when she's crying about another guy, giving her advice on another guy?
No.
That's not a nice guy. That's a platonic friendship only.
A nice guy is a guy who looks for validation or seeks like acceptance from society, parents, family, um, colleagues. They're not in tune with their feelings. They don't articulate or express.
Nice guys you're talking about?
Yeah, express their desires. They lie about their desires. They hide their desires.
They don't sound too nice then. If they're lying about things.
They're not really
aggressive, the go-getters.
Yeah, they're not really assertive. And women, like, they sense that.
So let me ask you a question. Why do you think women push those nice guys away, even though they get treated better by them, but they chase and fight for the bad boys? Why do you think women do that?
2 reasons, right? 2 reasons. So you're saying that if the bad boy is constantly hurting her or whatever, she keeps going back to him versus the guy that treats her nice.
Or if she finds out that her bad boy is cheating on her, she'll fight with the chick.
2 reasons I believe that is. One reason is women are emotional masochists, and I'm gonna get into that.
Good.
And the second reason is women don't like, not just men, but women don't like anyone that treats them better than they treat themselves. And I'm going to get into that after the masochist. So a masochist, for people who are unaware of what a masochist is, they are someone who loves pain.
Torturing themselves?
Yes, they enjoy pain, whether it's to the
physical,
to themselves or receiving it from someone else. And it's not just about physical pain. It's emotional pain. It's psychological pain. It's also humiliation, degradation. Like, they love that. So a woman that will constantly cry over a man, like, I believe no woman truly loves a man she never cried for. So it's like, if you could touch her in any way emotionally, she's going to gravitate towards you, whether it's negative or positive. So going back to when I said women don't like people who treat them better than they treat themselves. Okay, so if you're a guy who's constantly buying her flowers every day, every week, you're
you're not together? Is that what you're saying? And they're not together?
No, even if they're together.
I don't know. I think a lot of women would like that.
No, not every woman likes that. Some women like rope and welts and bite marks and orgasms, and you know what I mean. Good
so
sex.
The flowers are taking in place of that. So the good guy isn't giving them that. That's why he's bringing them flowers.
No, I'm just saying that plenty of times, like, a good guy, no, not a good guy, a nice guy.
Okay.
A nice guy who showers her with all these gifts constantly, is always romantic and gentle and all this other stuff, right? She's not responding to that well because she doesn't treat herself that well. So she's always gonna think that this is too good to be true. This is fictional. Like, it's not reality. She's always gonna think that. I
feel like, okay, so on the one hand, you have everybody likes attention, right? So if the nice guy is giving her attention, and she likes it, why is she ignoring? I mean, she likes attention, but obviously, why isn't she liking that specific attention? But now the nice guy is giving attention, let's say 10 hours a day. You're so beautiful, texting, whatever. The bad boy, maybe she'll text him all day long and he'll give her like one sentence throughout the whole day. And she like trips and falls over herself for that. That still goes back to just them being emotional masochists.
Yeah. Most women don't. Too much of certain things is not good. That excludes sex. You know what I mean? Or money. But too much of these little mundane things, women start to fall in love with them.
texting that like
yeah,
that.
women start to fall in love with that versus the actual person. It just doesn't seem genuine. I don't care what type of woman you are. It doesn't seem genuine. So women will have their already preconceived notions about men. And if you have a nice guy who's doing this, they're not believing for it to be true. So automatically they're going to try to slowly disconnect from this guy because in their mind, like, how is this guy so perfect? Like, no, this is not true. This is fraudulent.
Do you think that
That's the
like
thing.
in the long run, the ones that the good guys that the girls overlook, they wind up kicking themselves like, fuck, I should have just gave him that chance because I got stuck with old what's his face and now he's whatever.
Yeah, but the reality is women look at more in depth than, oh, this guy was so romantic, this guy treated me nice. Because if he wasn't putting it down in the bedroom,
Oh
right?
yeah,
If he wasn't
he's dead and stinking probably.
if he's not goal oriented, like he
Oh
has
yeah,
no shit going for himself or whatever, like he's just, yeah, they might say, oh, I kicked myself for that guy, but it's not like they're gonna look for him.
yeah, that's
They're
true.
gonna constantly look for the bad boy because the bad boy, they're sexually attracted to that. Subconsciously, they're sexually attracted to. They respond sexually to those type of men.
Yeah, it's like we always want what's bad for us.
Yeah,
Like a lot of people would rather buy fast food or buy food than go to the supermarket, get the ingredients, and make it.
Yeah, or switch to a vegan, alkaline diet. You're right. It's expensive, and it's not what you're used to. Like broccoli is not something that you wanna have because of the taste. And it's not what you're used to versus McDonald's or something.
Yeah, I mean there are ways to dress up a broccoli, but I know because you were a fitness
trainer.
right, fitness instructor, personal trainer, and you made diets for people. So I'm sure with you, it's just steam the broccoli, hold your nose, and eat it.
I mean, everything takes getting used to. Repetition.
I like broccoli, but I like it with
recalibrate
cheese
your mind
and butter.
Recalibrate your mind to love shit. You know what I mean?
All right. So, bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
What makes them bad? Because they're slinging that good. Is that why they think that? Is that why?
Bad boy, good dick.
It's synonymous. It's hand in hand.
Listen, it's a common oxymoron, but it's true. Like bad boys know that if I'm not gonna give this woman attention or whatever it is, I'm not gonna be that sucker. You know what I mean? She's gonna run to me versus the guy that's in the DM all the time and on her post, kissing her ass all day.
Yeah,
she's not responding to that because 100 other men are telling her the same thing.
So it's basically the same thing if we switch the roles. The bad bitches and the good girls.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing.
So it's just like when a bad bitch wants to ignore a guy or use him for him to to pay a bill or whatever, and obviously she can't get away with that with an alpha man, right?
No, so I'm not saying bad boys are users and abusers. No,
well, not all bad bitches are too.
No, I'm just saying that bad boys are alpha males. They take no shit. They move at the beat of their own drum. They don't condone in what society, has to offer. You know what I mean? They kind of look at the world differently. They go their own path. Listen, they're not these guys that are in jail constantly, disobeying the law, not abiding by the law. No, those are not bad boys.
Rah type guys.
Those are not bad boys.
But those guys think they are bad boys.
Yeah, those guys are just
clowns.
They're just
So a real bad boy alpha male is more like he's not one to be yelling out what his accomplishments are, what he does, and like that. He sits quiet in the cut and just observes.
That's a dominant, not a bad boy. Like a bad boy could be those things. A bad boy could
but
be
it doesn't
cocky.
mean that they have to, right?
No, a bad boy could be cocky. A bad boy could be arrogant because at the end of the day,
Right? Who's going to question that?
He knows what he brings to the table. You know what I mean? And especially in a relationship too. Like if you have a bad boy in a relationship, you know that he's gonna be providing a little bit more than what you are.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna care a little bit less than you do in the relationship, and that's always gonna make you want to be like constantly in the relationship.
Now, do you think
it's a weird thing, but psychologically,
do you think it also has to do with like upbringing? Stop! Get out of my mind! Get out of my mind! Yeah, with upbringing. Let's say a girl has strict parents, or
100%.
Because I'm gonna interject and put my experiences. My parents are South American.
Mm-hmm.
You know, although my sister and I did get away with a lot because they're from South America and they didn't know the ways of the land over here.
Okay.
But I did find myself, because my dad was so strict, liking those bad boys, the ones that be like, why don't you just sneak out?
Yeah.
Why don't you, when they're asleep, come sneak out? And that kind of, that get, ooh, excitement. We sneaking out of the house. Yeah. Whereas the good guy is like, no, you have to go home, go to bed or whatever. So do you agree with that it can be the home environment?
Yeah, that's why they're good girls. That's why they're considered good girls, whether they're like these church girls or goody two shoes or they've never did anything bad in their life. They don't curse. They don't, you meet a guy that does the complete opposite, and it's like it's attractive. It's like it's almost like it's scary, but it's attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Like women are attracted to the things that scare them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Women are attracted to the things that scare them because it's that sense of adventure.
Yeah.
So when you meet a bad boy, you're already reading him: risk taker, decisive, dominant.
Well, you're
assertive.
Not judging, but you're
assessing him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all those things are attractive to a good girl or a shy girl because she's like a cage animal.
I think it also goes back to they feel more secure with a bad boy because of all those
They
reasons.
know what they're gonna get with them. Think about it, right? Think about it. If you see a nice guy, a woman's mind is gonna say, there ain't no fucking saints in the world. How is this guy so nice? There ain't no fucking saints. It's not real. Whereas she's gonna slowly disconnect from the guy because she feel like he's not being genuine. But with the bad boy, it's like, listen, this is how I am. This is what I do. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, but not all bad boys are honest like that. They like to play that game. You different. Them other girls don't mean nothing. You different.
Those are not bad boys, in my opinion. Those are like players, or you can't interchange the two.
You don't think bad boys are players?
No.
I definitely think bad boys. That's why they're bad. They're players.
No.
They got options everywhere.
No.
Interesting.
A bad boy could be a good man with tattoos. You know what I mean? And that could be bad for some people because they grew up in the church and, they read things in the Bible and they're conditioned a certain way. Oh, you're not supposed to have tattoos, and even though that's false. So they will say, oh, I witnessed this guy who I connected, but he has tattoos. He's a bad boy. You know what I mean?
So it's basically that definition. It's to what the person, each individual thinks.
Yeah, like he might be a speed racer in the highway. He a bad boy. You know what I mean? Like things of that nature. Not entirely always has these girls and he's playing these girls and that's different. That's a player. You can't interchange the two.
See, here I was always thinking that you can. Like a player is a bad boy.
I mean, you're entitled to your own.
No. Obviously, but
America.
It's. I like the way you you explain your parts of it. That's why we have the podcast, so that everybody gets a different view on things.
That's what I believe a bad boy is. It's not, someone who's constantly playing a girl or whatnot, but a man that's gonna say, like, the man that's gonna put his foot down. Man that's gonna say, like, yo, stop nagging, sit the fuck down, this, that, put you in your place. A bad boy will do that. A nice guy won't. A nice guy is the type of a yes man or a yes ma'am. A nice guy doesn't believe that they're capable of doing something, even though they like subconsciously believe they're fully capable. They'll make all the excuses in the world to not be capable. Oh, she'll never like me. Oh, she'll never talk to me. She's out of my league. You know what I mean? Or, I won't be able to get that job, or I won't be able to accomplish that.
They don't have the same amount of confidence.
And that's what it is. It's the confidence. And women love that. No matter who you are, what you look like.
I think women also associate a bad boy with really good sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I know I've done it in my lifetime. You see a guy and you're like, damn. And it's that look, because a lot of women, I know plenty of girls, most of my friends, maybe with an exclusion, they like that look, that rough type of look. And then always comes a comment, I bet he could lay it down.
Yeah.
Why? I've never heard anybody say, damn, that guy over there is such a nice guy. I bet you can lay it down.
The thing
but he could get you out of a ticket.
Well, the thing is, like, bad boys exude this sense of, like, I take no shit.
Yeah.
And if women they sense that, their pheromones, like a bad boy could step into the room and you feel his energy. They sense that. So they correlate every single thing when it comes to that with sex. You understand?
Yeah, like his whole movement, how he walks.
First of all, 95% of women want a man, and the percentage could be higher. Could be 98% of women want a man to take control when they're in their sexual environment. 2% don't. And those women could be femdoms, dominatrix. We'll get to those terms in the BDSM episode. Mm-hmm. But femdoms, dominatrix, they like dominating men. But majority of the time, women want to relinquish control in those sexual environments. No woman is going to want a nice guy to handle her nicely in bed. No, she want her hair pulled. She want to be bent over and banged hard like a fucking screen door in a hurricane. You know what I mean? Like, she wants that guy that's going to put her in her place. And bad boys, to them, they feel like they could do that versus the nice guy that is like if he's so nice, I wonder how he's going to be in bed.
Right, like that bland, like no seasoning.
He's going to be so gentle with me. He's going to be so nice. And sometimes you may get that 1%. Out of the 99%, you may get that 1% of that nice guy who's gonna be able to be both. But he's not that nice guy. He's a good man. I mean, he's a good man. He's not that nice guy. Because
so most
nice guys are betas.
How do you differentiate that, just based on how that man is behaving? Like, how do you differentiate just a nice guy from a good man?
A good man, right? A good man can be someone who has a good heart, who is you know what I mean, who contributes to his community,
who looks out for people.
Looks out for his family, takes care of his family, who uplifts people of his race or whatever community, whatever. That could be a good man. It doesn't necessarily mean he's a nice guy, because he's still doing what the fuck he wants to do. He's still, moving how he wants to do. He's still dating who he wants to do. He's still saying, oh, I could get that chick if I want. It doesn't matter if she's a celebrity. It doesn't matter if she has more money than me. It doesn't matter who she is. Like, he still has that confidence. Whereas a nice guy
doesn't have
that confidence.
And never voices how he feels, just like you said in the beginning.
Yeah, and he may do things to get validation from it.
From
like
her,
that nice guy might take a picture with a homeless guy and post it on social media
because a certain girl might look at it and like it.
or he's looking at it like, yo, like people are gonna think I'm a good person. People are gonna think I'm nice. Like bad boys, good men, they don't care about stuff like that. Like they'll do those subtle or discreet things and they don't post it. They're not looking for trophies.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a nice guy to a lot of people don't seem genuine, and a lot of people don't like to follow nice guys. You know, because they feel like they're not genuine. On top of them not exuding those strong genes.
I think that's what gives it. Not having those strong genes. And I don't mean strong genes by with strength, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like you said, don't nobody like well, I don't know. What do you want to do? No, come and tell me. Come. And we've all seen those memes. Women are tired of the, hey, what are you doing? They want hey, get dressed. I'm going to pick you up at 3. We're going to go here.
A decisive man.
A decisive man. Yeah. So these good girls, just like you said, a nice guy doesn't always have to be, like a nice guy. So the good girls, are they always good? Are they good? Are they like pure thoughts? Are they, pristine, never touched? Or what is your description for a good girl?
There's all types of good girls. There are good girls who have dirty minds. There are good girls who...
that would be me.
There are good girls who are selective. You know what I mean?
For those of you who know me that are watching or hearing, don't disagree with that. I am a very good girl. Thank you very much.
So those are good girls in my opinion. You know what I mean? Some of them might have those innocent faces, but they have that wild, repressed desires.
So it's not something that they verbalize.
No. And they look for bad boys to bring that out because they don't have that confidence, or they can't, they don't know, they might not know how to articulate it without, without being reprimanded for it or whatever. You got to understand, right? There's certain things in society for a long time that has been forbidden. This has been a cause to inspire like feminism and women, like women who will like we say, quote unquote, like good girls who don't want to engage in certain activities because it's what they've been conditioned to.
They need to be a virgin,
not just in the domestic
for marriage.
environment.
Okay.
Not just in the domestic environment, but media and this and that. So, that's what it is.
All right. So, what do you think is when we talk about bad boy versus nice guys?
Alpha male versus differentiate.
That's it, in a nutshell. But it doesn't have to be the same with women, though, right? It doesn't have to be alpha, beta, good girl, bad girl.
Sometimes it is like the good girl is that submissive girl. You know what I mean? The good girl is that submissive girl. The bad boy is that alpha male. You know what I mean? They gravitate towards each other because masculinity gravitates towards femininity. You know what I mean?
I have seen that. It's not like you're right about that, because I've seen plenty of times where I've seen like a thugged out guy with a nice girl with glasses, and so many times I'm like, that is such a odd pairing, like such a weird couple, right? And I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. So I feel that I feel like the nice guy, right? If a woman has been in a lot of bad relationships and she's with the nice guy, subconsciously she may sabotage the relationship. Because like women might put in their mind, all men are cheaters. All men act up after a certain time. All men do this. I'm like, how come I haven't cried over him yet? How come I haven't done this? They may not articulate it, but this could be running through their heads, which is why they run away from nice guys, because nice guys are just too perfect.
Well, is it because they've had like
there's no way that
boys?
Somebody's too perfect, but it's not. It's not just that. It's just that some women out there look at themselves as rescuers. This has to do with ego. This has to do with like being self-centered, or we could even say narcissistic.
On the woman's part?
On the woman's part. She feels that she can be that only one to change him.
I would have thought that you would have said it goes back to the woman being a nurturer.
You could say that too.
Okay.
You could say that too, but it's still ego. Like,
because she thinks that she could change him.
She's like, oh, this guy gets in a lot of trouble. This guy, probably didn't have the right guidance, and he's headed to the wrong path. And I could be that one to change him. I could be that one to help him. If she thinks that way, she's never gonna date nice guys, because nice guys don't need
help.
That
makes sense.
Nice guys don't need any type of transformation or improvement. You know what I mean? Whereas they're gonna feel that this bad boy needs improvement.
Right. And he needs me, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I could be the one to help him.
That's true. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it that way about, it's an ego, not in that circumstance. Of female thinking, like we had with one of the other topics, a man that's in a poly relationship, a female entering that thinking I could change his mind, that I would associate with ego. Like that's her ego saying I'm sure that I can change him. But when this scenario, I see it totally. I see it a little bit different. I see.
Thing. Oh, he's a bad boy.
Right, he needs me. He probably had a hard life. Yeah, I'm gonna be the one to help him.
But I could also turn him into
a good boy, a good man.
A good man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they feel that. Like it goes back to ego, like I was saying. You know what I mean? But we could throw in the nurturing too in there.
I'm just gonna throw that right in there, because I think a lot of girls think that way more when it comes to a bad boy.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I'm gonna make him change his ways about other females. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In the Seduction of Discipline, right? My first book, Chapter 5, The Life of a Dominant. I differentiate bad boys and nice guys. Also, Chapter 22, the same book, Goodgirls, Badboys. Like, I differentiate. And it has to do with confidence. That's the number one thing that women pick up on.
Yes.
Bad boys are direct. They're straightforward. They don't give a fuck what you think. They're so blunt and honest. They're like most women will come to them for the truth. Like, what do you think about me or whatever, versus a nice guy, because they know that even though that bad boy might hurt their feelings, he's always gonna give her the real. Versus the nice guy is gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna tell her the truth because it's gonna hurt her feelings.
Right.
The bad boy is more direct. You know what I mean? He's more straightforward. He's more dominant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are your final thoughts on that? Would you rather be a good guy, a nice guy, or a bad boy? Are you happy being the bad boy that you have been labeled?
I'm happy being the bad boy. I'm not, like, my grandmother didn't raise me to be a nice guy. You know what I mean? She raised me to be a good man, but not a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like,
she wants you to just be a dominant guy all around.
Yeah.
Don't take no shit. It's your world. They're just a squirrel.
You know what I mean? Like, you weren't here. You weren't born to take part. You were born to take over. You know, my final thoughts on this, right, is women want the Wall Street mindset guy or goal oriented, but to have the stamina or sling dick like a construction worker or a blue collar worker or whatever. Like that's what they
those
do.
poor Wall Street guys.
They want those. Listen, no woman's gonna want no.
They want the best of both worlds.
Exactly. They want the savage gentleman. They want the polite asshole. They want that guy that's gonna open the door for them and slap their ass while they walk in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's hard. Because now your beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah. You're
pretty much saying that you want a polite asshole. Because the circumstances. And that's hard. Like if you're a woman who wears the pants in the relationship, and you never allow your man to be the man, and then once you get in the bedroom and you're like, I want you to fuck the shit out of me, just really like take it down, this shit yours, this pussy yours, like my body's yours. He's not gonna be able to do that. It's not in his fucking psyche to do that. Like the entire relationship outside of the bedroom, you don't allow him to be the man. You know what I mean?
But now you're getting him confused.
That's the nice guy. Yeah. Now you're getting him confused. Now he feels a lot of pressure to even perform. Oh shit, she's giving me the wheel.
Right, I don't know what to do.
I never had the wheel before.
Right.
So it's like in that sense, it's hard for you to want to wish that as a woman. Like I wish to have like a good gangster. Like
I think that phrase comes from be an asshole to everybody else, but treat me different because I'm supposed to be your partner. In that
song, Destiny's Child, Soldier.
Oh yeah,
rude boy that's good to me with street credibility. Like you know what I mean? It's like that. They like those hood dudes, but to be good men, and that's not something that you're gonna find.
It's hard for people to put on that role and then.
That's why. Yeah, it's not like you know what I mean. You're not gonna get that. It's rare.
Yeah,
it's a 1% or 2%. You know what I mean? Out of the 98 or the 99%, it's hard. It's very rare. So that's why, like, when women finally feel like they have that or just a fragment, they're gonna hold on to it because it's like, am I gonna find this elsewhere? Like, women won't leave what they won't find elsewhere.
That's true until they find it.
And if they do leave it, they're gonna be single for a while, or they're just gonna be dating casually. And, you know what I mean? Like, I'm dating. I got a new guy this month. I got a new guy 3 months now. Like, they're gonna just keep dating because they can't really find what they want.
Yeah,
and that's what they really want. Like, women should be more honest with the type of men they want. Like, you want the bad boy? Go for the bad boy. Don't go for the nice guy because your mom and your dad
everybody's telling you right.
Be that your girls and your that's not you. If you're that nice girl, if you're that good girl, you're never gonna be with that nice guy because two nice people, two pussies, two submissives don't work in a relationship.
So you're saying there's always has to be one controlling or not controlling, but balance.
There has to be balance. Like, that's not balance. Like a dominant and a submissive is a balance. A dominant and a dominant is not balance. Two alphas is not balance, whereas one has to relinquish control. Then there's balance. Everything in this world is about
that's pretty hard. Is when you have two alpha people, alpha female and alpha male.
Everything in this world is about balance. It's about structure. It's about stability. So good girls view these men, even though they may be bad, right? To them, to their friends, to their family, to society, they feel like these guys balance me. These guys give me structure. These guys give me stability.
Do you feel like those types of girls are automatically submissive, more submissive, would you say?
To those men than the nice guys. 100%. To those nice guys, they'll eat them for lunch like a lioness eats a warthog.
Poor warthog.
Alive. Like, if you allow her to do that, like, here's the thing. Let me break it down, right? And I wrote this in my first book, The Seduction of Discipline. Women don't respect men whom cannot dominate them. And I don't mean that just physically. I mean, because a bad boy could dominate you psychologically. He could challenge you. He could, you know what I mean? He could do all these things mentally and emotionally. I mean, that comes back to the emotional masochists. They're being dominated emotionally. So women are inclined to gravitate more towards those type of men than the nice guys.
Yeah.
Because the nice guys are not going to do all those things.
Right. They don't put that spark in them.
Yeah,
there's nothing that the girls like.
Women don't like men that they can manipulate, but they go crazy for the ones that can manhandle them. They don't like men that they can control. I don't care who you are. You could be a feminist and whatnot. We have a feminist episode. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
But you could be whatever, independent and all that other stuff. That's great. Women independence, that's great. That's phenomenal. But I believe women are hardwired to be attracted to dominant men. And bad boys exude dominant genes. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
That's your final thought.
Those are my final thoughts. Women want Wall Street men, or the Wall Street look, the Wall Street mindset, but to have that construction worker or blue collar warehouse worker, dick, stamina, like personality, you know what I mean, and shit like that. Because you look at it like you see a Wall Street guy, in your subconscious, that's like, in a way, nerd,
like geek. A stuffy, stuck-up guy.
Geek.
I don't know about geek.
Yeah, you say geek.
Like Google, somebody who works at Google is a geek. Somebody who works at Wall Street to me is not a geek. To me, they're just some stuffy, you know, rich guy who works on Wall Street.
I think a geek and a nerd are two different things. Like I believe I'm a nerd, but I'm not a geek. Like I believe a geek, like I know how to dress, I have style, like I can speak to people and women especially. I know how to spit game. Like that's a geek doesn't have that in them.
Right. They're just shy.
But the nerd part of me is that intellectual. That I could flip it and I could get real spiritual on you.
Yeah.
I could lead a march. I could do this. I could do, you know what I mean? Like I'm a geek where I love literary content. I love literature.
Nerd, not a geek.
Nerd. I love literary content. I love books.
I mean, I hope so. You're a 7-time author.
You know, whereas the geek doesn't have the confidence, doesn't have the swag, doesn't have the
I mean, you said it in a nutshell, doesn't have the confidence. If you don't have the confidence, you don't have much to go on then.
That's what it comes down to. You know?
Well, my final thoughts for good girls and bad guys. Bad guys may be fun. They look appetizing. But before you jump into that, really get to know them. And that goes for, you know, for the nice guys too. You have to really get to know somebody before you allow them in your space. Whether that be a good guy, a bad boy, a bad bitch, or, you know, a nice girl. That's just how it is. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you want. And you have to know who you're going to let in.
I still think like it goes back to what you said earlier about we like things that are bad for us.
That too. But just because, listen, you like pizza and when we can eat pizza all day long doesn't mean that it's good for us.
I saw a meme a while ago where there was this mouse trap and it had an eggplant on it. And you see a woman, she's not naked, but you can't see because her back is, you know.
And she's like reaching for it, right?
She's reaching for it. And it said, like, you know the dick is bad for you, but you still want it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that doesn't work. I know you're trying to give them great advice out there. And
excuse me, these are my final thoughts.
Okay, they're your final thoughts, but it doesn't work. Because you could tell a woman, let me tell you something. You could give a woman advice all in the world. Like I've given a lot of women advice. And they will still do the opposite of what you tell them to do.
I think that's not just women, that's anybody who is uncertain of what they want. Or how to get it, because I have spoken to many women, spoken to many young men, and have given them advice. And if they want to take it, they will, and if they don't, they don't. But that's not just a woman. That's man and woman.
Women are more emotional, man. They're internal. Men are external. You know what I mean? So they will hear what you have to say, but ultimately, sometimes your pussy and your brain think differently. Like, girl, we need him. That's the pussy talking.
Yes.
The mind, nah, I gotta stay away. I gotta.
Yeah.
The
That's
heart,
why I
the
said,
heart is like, you know,
which way to
torn,
go? Yeah. Which
torn.
way do
But
we
the
go?
pussy is like, yo, we need that. So
That's why I stated
it's not
in
easy
one
for
of
you
our
to
other
say that for
episodes.
a girl, because a girl could say, you're right, girl. You have a conversation with a girl. You could have a conversation with a girl for 30 minutes, telling her all the bad stuff he's doing. Oh, he did this, he did that. And she could say, you know what? You're right, girl. I'm not going to do it.
Turn
Next
around
thing you
and do it.
know,
Yep.
she might get drunk. Something happens. She's texting him 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. She goes back to the toxicity.
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I mean?
I've had that.
Like,
That's happened. I've had conversations with girls, same thing. But
I'm not saying that the bad boy is toxic. I'm just saying that, you know, some bad boys are toxic. You know, some bad boys are toxic. So, I mean, you know, it's gonna be like that till the end of time. You know, the opposites attract.
Opposites do attract.
Opposites attract. But the thing is, when they never mention if it's a long duration of time. They never mention if it's if we're gonna turn into marriage or anything like that. Bad boys are fun. Bad boys are they're that type of
they're fun
women,
for a while.
They're that type of stuff that when you experience when you're young, but when you're ready to get married, you don't go for the bad boys to get married because you know that they're not husband material. But there are women who marry the nice guys because they want to have kids and they want to have this, but then they have the bad boy on the side.
Wait, I want to say something about you saying that women are their pussy thinks one way and their mind thinks another way. I agree with you 100%, which is why I said in one of our other episodes, ladies, masturbate, know yourself, know your body, because it will stop you from making terrible decisions like going back to that bad boy when you should stay your ass at home. See, it all works out.
Yeah.
It all works out.
Yeah.
Invest, ladies. It'll stop you and stop you from picking up that phone call saying, "What are you doing? I miss you." Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's just it will always be the sense of adventure though. Even if they do that, you know, sometimes it will be the
Stop. I have
adventure.
them right where I want them, and now you're throwing them back. Don't listen to him. He's the devil. We don't want to listen to that guy.
Listen, it's the sense of adventure for them. Like they want to be with these men because they love the adventure.
I mean, sometimes adventure leads to, not so happy things.
And they're willing to go through that. Some women are willing to go through that. You know what I mean? Especially if they've really had these desires and they never were able to experience them. And now they're able to experience them.
Well, that sounds more like a woman in like a more advanced stages. I don't know how to say it. An older woman. Now, I'm not talking about 80s or 50, maybe 50s. I would say from 40s and up. That sounds like what they never got to experience that because for whatever reason they married early or whatever, and now they have that excitement coming on. They're being introduced to something exciting.
Yeah,
I could see how that. But for you young girls, don't fall for it, man.
Women have dark desires. Sometimes only bad boys can bring out. That's what it comes down to. Like, there's no middleman. There's no bad
fantasies.
boy.
Their fantasies get to be played out now.
Yeah, there's no bad boy, blah 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 guy, and nice guy. It's either you're a bad boy or you're a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like we exclude the good man in there, but you could be a nice guy and a good man, but you're still gonna be in the friend zone.
Yeah.
You're still gonna be in the friend zone. Eventually, at some point, you're gonna meet that one woman that's gonna challenge you. She's gonna talk back. She's gonna do this, she's gonna do that. And if you tolerate that, you're gonna constantly be the nice guy in her head.
But some guys like that.
Yeah, they're the nice guys. They're the submissive guys. They're the beta males.
I know some I wouldn't call them beta males. I know some like
those guys are likely to get cheated on
that
too.
like the girls that
Those
you know
guys are,
that give it back to them.
Listen, those guys are likely to get cheated on too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they're so easygoing.
Who, the nice
They
guys?
allow the brat to be the brat. The nice guys. They're so easygoing. Like, women don't like being brats. Women like that if I'm acting like a brat, you're gonna bring me back to reality. And make me stop acting like I'm 5 years old. Versus like, you know what I mean? It's constantly, subconsciously, this is what they think. If they could get away with it, they're not gonna respect you. No respect. Keep doing it to get away with it. No respect is equate to no attraction.
Yeah.
So these women don't respect these men because they can't dominate them.
And then we're not
talking about the bedroom.
Yeah.
The bedroom's a bonus. But if they can't dominate them outside of the bedroom, like, yo, don't talk to me like that. Like, they're not tolerating that. Sit your ass down. You ain't going nowhere. Like, you putting them in their place. Subconsciously, in the female psyche, that turns her on. Bad boys have that in them to do that. Nice guys don't have that in them to do that. And that's why women
they'll try to talk
away.
to you. Let's sit down and talk about this. And let's, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
No, I mean, we ran through this episode.
We sure did.
Yeah, we ran through it.
Ooh. Next
episode.
No giveaways here. I guess they're just gonna have to tune in for next week.
Tune in next week.
Thank you. It's been lovely, Mr. EL Discipline. I love going head to head with you on these topics. You do open my eyes to a lot of things. I will give you that. I do always come out learning.
This is like the 6th or 7th episode. I think we had
There's a 5th.
Well, we had a part 1 or part 2.
We had 2, I think, to have part 2.
Technically, it's the 5th one. But for us, like, we did part 1s and stuff like that. So it feels like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably like 5 points up on you. You may have gotten me like twice.
I didn't know that we were keeping track and tally. Now that I know, I'm gonna have my little book out. No. You shouldn't have said that.
Listen,
that's
the one
where
thing you got me on. The one thing you got me on is the Bible thing. Because we both agreed that the Bible has been written constantly. But I still said in the Bible, Ephesians 5:22, wives, submit to your husbands as you do to the Lord. Now, I'm speaking on the devil's advocate for women who are born in the religion aspect or religion domestic environment. I'm speaking for them, even though I don't believe a lot of the shit in the Bible. Okay. You know what I mean? But you got me on that one. I'll give that. I'll give you that. I'll give you your credit when you told me like that shit written by man and all that. You got me on that, but still, it's true for the women that believe that are in
who are abiding by the
Bible.
Bible.
Come on. At the end of the day, when you stand in front of the altar, in front of a priest, aren't you making a promise to God too?
I don't know. I didn't get married in front of a priest.
Oh, okay.
I got married in front of a judge.
The women that do that and they take that promise in front of God and to their husband, they believe that.
Who are religious? Yes.
Yeah. So I was speaking on their half.
You can't go back now. You can't go back. That was an old. That was an old episode.
If it's not for that, I'm 6-1. I'm 6. You got 1.
Right, negative. Until next week. I'm gonna bring my gloves, my boxing gloves next week. We'll see who got for the next episode. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. You were tuned into the Discipline Therapy Podcast.